Hello, guys. Welcome to Fate Podcast, where we talk about film, anime, television, and other forms of entertainment. Thank you so much for your patience and your time. I know we haven't recorded in a year, 2020 and all this COVID stuff, changed all of our lives, but I am happy to be back now. There's a couple of changes, typically is me and Fritz doing these reviews and the podcast, but Fritz is still a part of Fate, but at the time is unable to do it. So we have a new member for you to the Fate family and Sam. Sam, introduce yourself.
Going on? I'm Sam Rohr. Been a longtime friend of Fritz. I guess I shouldn't say long time, just since college. We were
Mhm.
teammates. He was my RA my freshman year, and he's always been a great dude. And yeah, glad that him and yourself could let me on. Just a longtime movie lover. Love watching TV shows. So yeah, pretty super nerdy. So just ready to do this.
Yeah, I mean, we need nerdy. We need people with knowledge of this era, of this genre. So I'm happy to have you. Welcome to the team. Today we're gonna focus on a comedy skit. That's a great way to start off the podcast or start off like our first one back with laughter because 2020, not everyone was laughing. People was mad. Some people was laughing, but but it's a great way to start off our show. So, but the comedy we're gonna review is different, especially for me because I didn't hear about this comedian until Sam here introduced him to me. So, without further ado, let's talk about this. It's Bo Burnham Inside. It just came out on Netflix. Um, Sam, what do you think of it?
Um, I guess sort of the cliche things of like, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was amazing because like what it is like it's comedy
Yeah.
ish, but the thing is, it's like it truly is something that was special. Like that's something that you'll never see again. It's different. It was unique to the exact time that we're experiencing now. So like it'll just be kind of interesting to see how it ages later, but like it's just I don't know, it was something I resonated with me personally a lot. And he's someone that's funny, been out the scene for a while, and it was just really cool to hear his take, and I thought it was truly something special and awesome. But yeah, like I said, I was excited to see what you thought about it because as soon as I recommended, you're like, "Yeah, I'll watch it." I was just like, maybe we shouldn't."
Maybe we should. Um, yeah, you know, humor and comedy, I will have to say is, obviously subjective. And again, it's an art form. And um, I don't want to bash them. Like, okay, when I first watched it, is I'm telling you, is different because honestly, I thought I was gonna laugh more, and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and maybe it's not my type of humor. I smiled, and I chuckled a little bit, but I wasn't like dying laughing on the floor. Oh my god! But I will honestly have to agree with you that it was really creative and really well done about how he approached different topics and used music as an outlet for that. Like that was really well done, and bravo to him because while everyone was complaining about either um, being trapped in the house or trying to get out or this, that, and the third, he stayed in his house and worked the whole time over a year on that special. That's commitment, that determination. Um, but at the same time, goodness grief, like I wanted to laugh, like, but I couldn't.
I
Um,
know
were there
it's weird.
parts? Were there parts where you laughing hysterically, or you just chuckled, or what was the case?
I don't think there was parts where I was just laughing like just just like
Yeah.
because it's not like that at all. It's more of like, oh, that was pretty good just because of like the way he's like kind of doing it almost deadpan sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like he before that song Sexting, he's laying on the floor, just like pi- uh pillow under him, blanket over, just the mic laying there. And he's just talking that way about um what was it? About giving medication to kids, like referring to like ADHD and like
Mm-hmm.
other drugs that are prescribed to kids at a young age and stuff. And he just says that so just like as matter of fact and deadpan. You're just kind of like, what? What? Like, okay, I guess we could go there, but I'm kind of not expecting you to. And then
Yeah.
he just ends it with like a stupid thought, just I'm horny,
Yeah.
and just goes off into this other thing. You're just like, huh? So it's just kind of like this thing where, yeah, it makes you like laugh, where you're just kind of like, all right, I guess I'll just kind of go with the ride here.
Yeah.
And like, I would say another thing that really impressed me is the fact he did all of that by himself. He
Yes.
edited it, he did the
Yes.
lighting,
Mm-hmm.
just everything. And it was just so well done. It's like an hour, it's basically a one-man show film,
Yes. Yes. It was.
like a true one-man show where just nothing else was there. And I genuinely enjoyed the songs. Some of them are just straight bangers,
Yeah. Uh,
especially Sexting.
yeah, we can move to the songs because the songs, I ain't gonna lie, the songs were catchy because, well, he's a musician as well. Like he can play the pianos, he can sing. People call that singing. But no, he was he was he was good. That's the songs was catchy. He was you can um you know hold it a tune and stuff like that. So what were the best songs that well, songs that's jokes, I would say, that you liked about it?
Um, I guess I'm just gonna kind of run through a few quick. I like the top. I like the intro because that's really what sucked me in. Was like I
Mm-hmm.
was already excited for it because he'd just been like dropping things, kind of like how J. Cole did leading up to his album, where he's just like, "Oh, here's this," and he's just like, "A few more days," and I was like, "Oh, yes, yes." But as soon as it started, and that whole like, just talk like just that catchy tune of like getting up, sitting down, going back to work.
Yeah.
And then he takes the lights, goes up on the disco ball, saying like, but hey, I made you some content. Daddy made you your favorite open wide. I was just like, I started busting out laughing right there because I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. But then I think really where you kind of like really see the turn, it's probably sooner, but like that how the world works, where he kind of get like it's a
Yes.
very like Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street kind of tune thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets out even a sock, and then he just starts talking about like capitalism and the fall of like government. I'm just like, wait, what? And then, but by far the best song is probably Welcome to the Internet. It's
Yes.
between that and Sexting for me, because
Yeah.
Sexting it was just because that was like a show of its own. That was a like great music video.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the white woman Instagram one was a good, but the lighting and the projection that he put over them and just the silliness of the conversation was just hilarious. But Welcome to the Internet was the best one because it weirdly 100% encapsulated the internet in a 4-minute song.
Yes. And I think, and that's what is so different and creative about him. Like, you know, he can wrap things up in a song, but in a catchy and okay, yeah, I get it. Like it works type of thing. And the 4 minute, because like the internet, I agree. Like I was like, damn, like I didn't know the internet was that mean or that gruesome, but in reality it is when you put it in that way. And that's what's funny about comedy is like you can take the darkness of something or anything, and then you kind of could bring it up to light, and then people can laugh about it because maybe sometimes we don't always recognize that thing is doing what comedians or other people say it's doing and stuff like that. And also how the world works. I think that's that in the. I know the branding didn't have a song, but that was probably my favorite because, like, you talk about capitalism, the world was made by blood and genocide and stuff like that, and then he was like, "Oh, can I talk?" He was like, "No, no, no, you're done talking." He rips up, he takes off the sock, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was just like, "Wow!" Like that was really creative what you did right there.
Oh yeah, exact. No, no, same thing. Whenever like that, even the first attempt where he doesn't do it, and he's just
Yeah.
like, "Are you finished?" And
Yes.
then that conversation, yeah, the whole
Yes. He's like, "Yes."
that I was just like,
He's like,
"Oh
yeah, yeah.
wow."
He's like, "Yes, sir." It was like, "Oh my God, like we're slaves to like the people that have the power." I was just like, "Okay, all right."
Even though the second before it, he was like, "I'm just trying to be a better person." And then I really thought the silliest one was the very shortest songs was like the Jeff Bezos ones.
Yeah.
That would because it was like this. He did the first one, and you're kind of like, okay. But the fact that he does a callback to it later, and it's just like, oh, congratulations! It's like, oh my god, what sparked him to do that? Because it's weird because he made it obviously way ahead of time. So
Hmm.
I thought like it was interesting that he had those songs after we already just had like Jeff Bezos in the news after like so
Yeah.
many things, his
Ex-
own public divorce and like the
Exactly. Exactly.
space or the Blue Origins, that's what it's called,
Hmm.
which is the most Lex Luthor thing ever, which is a different thing at all. But like,
No, man. I think he even said it. He was like, I was hoping to finish this like quickly, but I think it took him like over a year. And I bet because you have to, you know, write everything, you have to put the cameras and everything set up and edit everything and stuff like that. So I would think, I mean, when you create something, you're gonna have to keep on. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like that. Keep on
mhm.
changing things. So yeah, man. The 30 when you was like, okay, I want to complete this when I'm 30, but I'm still here. I was like, damn.
And then
uh,
breaks into that big ass song about being 30.
yeah, I was like, god damn. I'm like, okay, you still young, even though he maybe think he's old. I'm like, you look older than you look sometimes, but but you still young.
True. Yeah, but the to the point of like him working on that the whole year, like you
Hmm.
can see the mental toll it even took on
No, it
him,
did.
keeping himself inside and doing all of that. And like, because there's several mentions throughout it where he's talking about um committing suicide or like making jokes at it
Yeah,
even. But you can almost see later on, it's just like, oh, he's kind of almost borderline right now. It seems like he really is sad. Like burst into tears at one moment on it, and like that's kind of like the game of that whole thing is just like he's really putting you through a roller coaster of emotions and really kind of trying his best to make people laugh in a room where no one's laughing,
exactly.
but he knows that's not going to be the like what happens, like that's not the goal that probably he had in mind, was just like, oh, I'm going to make people cry laughing in their seat with no one else laughing with me. It's just
Hmm.
more of I'm going to make you laugh, but I'm also going to make you think about everything else.
Yeah,
And it was just because it's almost done in a, I guess most people's complaints is everyone's so pushy. It's done in like a non-pushy way. It's done in
yeah,
this weird, digestible way where like you enjoy it a lot, and then you kind of go, huh. You just really think about the lyrics a lot.
yeah. No, and I love comedians where they can take something controversial and then just spin it around. Like when he was talking about what you were talking about, we were talking about some, I forgot, on the bed, and then like at the end he was like, "Yeah, I'm horny," you know. It's just like, okay, yeah, yeah, you talk about something serious, but then like at the end, it's something funny. But like, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, this is a comedian we were talking about here. So it's just like you, a lot of the things, yeah, you take it seriously to think about it, but also he's trying to make you laugh as well. So, but I think with me, uh, it's a different type of humor. Um, I'm I'm all for dark humor. Like I'm all for it. And a lot of the things he touched on was um good and correct and creative, but I just don't think it was funny. Like, that funny. Like, I don't mean funny. When I'm at a show, I want to laugh. You feel me? Even you can even talk about dark stuff, but still make me laugh. But that's the only thing I didn't get from um this Netflix special with Bo. Like, I ain't laugh enough, and that's why I wanted. Creative stuff aside, I just wanted to laugh as well. And for me, he didn't do that for me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I still thought it was really funny, but yeah, maybe I got a more twisted sense of humor
No, it's
or
fine. Like I
something.
said, humor is subjective, bro.
But
Like,
yeah, like I said, for me too, is it just really resonated because like I don't know, I had a lot of negative emotions during the whole pandemic and stuff. So it was
mhm,
just kind of like, oh, someone I really look up to, kind of, they were at least able to do something with their sadness and their anger and
mhm,
whatever it is.
yeah,
He was able
no,
to channel it into something. But even then, like it was that very thing that he was like escaping to help him ended up hurting him as well. And
yes,
like that really hit for me because like with like, I love my job as a teacher and I love doing all of that, but like I overworked myself for a bit and like got really burnt out. So like, wasn't really taking advantage of giving myself a break. So like it was interesting to see that too and kind of, you know, just again, just kind of relate to a guy that I think is really, really smart and really funny and can do this. And I agree. Yeah, it's not something that's funny, but I wholeheartedly enjoyed it. That, I guess I can't say myself too. It's like, oh yeah, if you want to laugh, check this out. Like, I would never do that. Like, I've warned anybody I've told to like I get excited when I want to give like a recommendation, be like, oh, you should
yeah,
totally got to watch this. And they're like, oh, I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, there's this great song that's funny. And then I went, wait a second, hold on. This is sad. I should let you know that. Like, it's going to make you feel like, oh man. But like, you know, like I usually try to joke with people. I usually try to watch that kind of stuff just to make sure I'm alive and have emotions.
yeah, no, I agree. No, I definitely think he resonate and connects with a lot of people, especially, and some of the things he talked about connected with me. The internet, how the world works, um, and all the other things. I got the what he was trying to do and stuff, but it was more of a like informative type of comedy instead of like uh making people laugh type of comedy and stuff like that. So like I got it. I respect his work. I think he's really creative. He's a good writer and he's a good musician and stuff like that. But sometimes I just want to laugh. Like I try to, and side note, I try to I watched half of his other special on Netflix, Be Happy, and
Mhm.
that one was more of a funny-ish type of thing and stuff
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
his
So
his other ones
yeah,
are actually very funny,
yeah,
and they're way different. They're very happy-go-lucky
exactly.
in a way.
I watched it. I mean, again, maybe not my type of humor at times and stuff like that. And I think I watched for like 30 minutes. There was no point where I was like, my gut is about to burst because this guy's so funny. But again, he's good at what he does, and he know who he needs to target to get the laughter, and that's I think I can respect that as well. You know, I will never um hate on nobody for trying to make people laugh and working as hard as he worked. I will never hate on anybody like that. It's just
Oh, for sure.
it's
No, I got you.
yeah.
Yeah.
What were the things that you didn't like about it?
Huh. What I didn't like about it. That's a harder question to answer.
All right, while you think that, I'll speak. Um, and he warned us of this in the beginning. Obviously, he was like, "Oh, this is going to be all over the place and stuff like that." Um, some, but the fact is, it was all over the place. Is like okay, because he will do like sexing and then he will jump to something else, and I'm like, I like it was like just flat, and um I think the singing was the best, but I think when he wasn't singing, that's where um he failed at delivering his jokes and stuff like that. I think the only
Mhm.
time he did the best was the branding when he was the branding consultant for like companies.
I think you make a pretty good point there.
I think that's was the one he did the best without singing, where he's just like attacked all the companies was just like, yeah, um, I'm just here to be ahead of the game and make sure that we represent, you know, Lyme disease, even though we're selling Butterfingers and stuff like that. And I was just like, like this, he hit the nail on the coffin in this one, bro. Like I think that was the best one he did without singing, but the other stuff he did without singing kind of fell flat for me.
I feel you on that because, like, I definitely felt like you see that one, you're kind of like, oh, I hope there's more skits like this.
Yeah,
And like, for me, I also thought the gaming one was really funny. Um, I thought that one
it was
where
okay.
he's being like a streamer playing
Hmm.
inside, and it's
Yeah.
all he can do is cry or play the piano and try
Yeah.
to open the door.
Yeah.
And I thought that
Yeah.
one was funny
That
because
one's okay.
the commentary he makes, because he's trying to talk about the game and being like, what do I do here, guys? Like, what do I do? Oh, thanks, Isaiah. Like, see your 3 month subscriber. Thanks, bro. Keep it up. Like, just like stupid shit like that. You're like, oh my God, that's just exactly how streamers like work. They're just 1 second in it and then they're thinking, some sort of subscriber, or and then going back to it and taking suggestions from the comments. I was just, oh, I just thought that was perfect. But yeah, when he did more things like that, it was great. But then like when he did certain jokes, like where it's more towards the end where he's really
Yeah.
burly now, longer hair, big beard, and he's sitting there in his underwear and he's talking about how the world is fake and just a stage for the much more real digital world. He does
Hmm.
all of that, and then he goes into, pirates, if they want us to find buried treasure,
Yeah.
they should make better maps. And you're just kind of like,
Yeah.
wait,
It's like
what?
it's like laminated. I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, like, yeah, no, that was something like I heard it and I kind of went, I think that was pretty bad. But like, you still chuckle because it's like,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
A bad joke when you laugh at a bad joke. um, but I think, and that's understandable. Like you said, he been doing it over a year, so like, there are certain jokes that maybe they do it for most people. Some of it didn't do it for me, but you know, he did his best. Like I said, uh, he had his moments in this special. He did definitely.
For sure. And I don't know if you really like, I don't know how like closely you watch like the comedy specials or like pay attention to the comedy scene, but like these sort of like alternative, more serious, but are labeled as comedy special things
Hmm.
have been much more frequent lately.
Like what else? Because
Like there's this lady named Hannah Gadsby.
hmm
She is Australian, and she had one called Nanette, and it was there's moments where you do laugh because she's got jokes, but
Yeah.
she even says like, "Yeah, this isn't gonna be funny." Yeah, like she says that to the crowd, and she even makes a joke later in it how like people were like pissed because she's talking about serious things. Like she talks about like I think like sexual harassment or assault, I think. But she mainly talks about her finding her identity and like understanding herself and like being gay and trying to understand that and navigate that within a part of like Australia that is very much like way against it, very religious part
Hmm.
of Australia where they're just super against that. So
Hmm.
just her trying to learn to love herself and like be okay with who she is and like also learning that she was autistic when like literally like a year before she had filmed that special, so like well into her life, like learning like, oh, I'm autistic, and like I could have known this like when I was like a fucking teenager, and like maybe I would have been like more comfortable with myself, but like
Yeah.
she's talking about like all of those things, and it's just very serious and like but it's very engaging stories,
Yeah.
and it was really cool to see her do that. But like she then talks about these people that are mad about that, and she's just like, I would say it's probably pretty genius just to call something a comedy special to flock people in here, make a bunch of money, and then not make them laugh.
And no, but I mean that's how you're going to lose your fan base. And since we're on that topic, how do you feel um when comedians do stuff like that? Because um you go, like I said, you go to a show to laugh. The comedian, they're trying their best to make you laugh at any type of um thing that they could come up with. And the fact that you make it serious, because again, we go to comedy shows because we want to escape from the real situations that are happening in the world and stuff like that. So a comedian could spin that situation to laughter. So the fact that we're going to a show to experience the same thing we're experiencing, when we're out of the show, like it people I think people at some level have a right to be mad at that.
For sure, I think they do, but I feel like if a comedian feels really compelled to do some sort of special where they feel the need to express themselves in that way, sure. Um, and I guess
That's what.
this kind of gets into the conversation of like, do we need to start redefining what a comedy special is, or
Yeah.
maybe even create more of what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't know, more categories
Yeah.
for it to sort of fit into it, because there's some people that like see that, they're kind of like high comedy snobs or something like that,
Yeah.
or they just love that sort of thing. It like you can't do that or look at that and then go and then try to compare it to I don't know, like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Like you can't compare those, or even like Chris Rock, or you can't compare it to Joe Rogan
Yeah.
or Tom
Yeah.
Segura. Like you can't compare it to those people
Yeah.
because it's all different. Like,
Exactly. I mean,
um,
Dave Chappelle, sorry to cut you off, but
oh
Dave
no, go for it.
Chappelle, he did, I think it's on YouTube. I think he did like a 7-minute thing where he was serious. And I think
Hmm.
he jabbed at
Well,
Candace
actually,
Owens.
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, he jabbed at Candace Owens and stuff like that. Um, and I watched it, but it wasn't funny. It was like, he was talking about serious stuff. And like I said, Dave Chappelle is one of the best comedians um alive right now. And we every time a special comes out, we talk about it. We have two on YouTube right now. But for that, 7 minutes, however long, I think 14 minutes, whatever. He just talked, it just wasn't funny. It was, yeah, it was engaging and informative, and yeah, it's Dave Chappelle, and we want to see him because he have a fan base. But me being, a critic and me being honest with myself, It's just like, no, it's not funny. It just wasn't. I'm sorry. Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle, you're the best, but it was just wasn't funny. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I kind of take back the Dave Chappelle one just because, like, thinking about it, just because thinking about it now, like the way he does it now, like he just starts talking
Yeah.
and
No,
like,
but his other specials were funny. I ain't gonna lie.
oh, for sure.
He talks, but he also makes fun of things. You feel me? Um, that special, that little segment he did, he was just talking. It wasn't like he trying to make fun of stuff like he did in other specials. And
Yeah, it was kind of like he was just fed up
yeah,
with like
exactly.
some got to him that day, and he was just
Yeah,
like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna come at Candace Owens real quick.
exactly. So, I
Which was
mean, if
great.
like you said, if it has to be their own section of comedy, um, that's fine. But would you label as comedy though? Because comedy by default and by definition is supposed to make you laugh. You know what I mean? So if you go to a comedy show and they're all serious and talk about their problems and all this other stuff and no one's laughing, is that a comedy show?
Which I guess was one of the great questions of Mr. Burnham's special.
Yeah,
Was, can it really be funny if there's no one laughing?
exactly. I mean, again, I'm all for comedians, especially Bo, um doing this, and I'm pretty sure that maybe it's a one-time thing. Who knows? We'll see. Um, his other shows are more um different, but since this was just maybe it's a one-off.
Yeah, I just say it's probably one off because anybody that tries to replicate it, it's going to be terrible. Like, seriously, you can't, like, that's not something that you set out and try to make.
Yeah.
Like, he was probably trying to make something completely different.
Yep.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
No,
I
that's
would
always the
bet
case.
that it's something totally different that he planned. And then this is what he got just
Yep.
because of
Yeah.
what he just followed on his path of doing it.
Exactly. No, I absolutely, because you always have to, when you start something, you're like, but this is what I envisioned, especially working on it for a year. There's probably a whole bunch of things that changed throughout the process. And hopefully, maybe viewers or his fans ask him like, hey, what was your thought process on this from like beginning to end? Give us something like a 30-minute video of you talking about how you went about doing this special. You feel me? Like maybe that's probably in the works. But
That'd be cool. But yeah, it was interesting to see him even step into this because, like, as he says in it, he quit 5 years ago. He
mhm,
quit live comedy because he was having panic attacks on stage, and then actually said he got better and then wanted to come out. And funny
mhm.
enough, the pandemic happened. But it, during that time though, he filmed that movie Eighth Grade that I told you about the other day.
Oh, he was on.
Yeah.
He's the one that was on it.
He directed it and wrote this movie
Wow.
called Eighth
Okay.
Grade,
Gotcha.
and even got like this girl that was actually in eighth grade at the time, and obviously filmed it, and I don't know if it was like a huge. I think it was like a critical success. I don't know if commercial success because it's a small indie movie from
Yeah.
A24. They kind of
Okay.
do those
Yeah.
independent movies,
Hmm.
but he does it, and like I told you, I saw it, and it's so cringy, and it just takes you right to that moment in your life of being in middle school and how ugly you were and how horrible everything and everyone was, and it just takes you back to that, and you're just kind of like, yeah, I saw it, I think I'm good now, I get your point, great work, um can't wait to see what you do next.
Exactly.
But because I think he's going to do more, and I hope he does, because the cinematography in that and the special are kind of similar, with sharp transitions and like very interesting lighting choices, or even just like kind of like quirky scenes.
Mhm.
Um, and on top of that, he's also an up and coming actor, sort of. Like he was just in that Promising Young Woman movie, which was up for Best Picture nomination this year.
Mhm.
And he was really impressive in that. So I mean, the dude's a jack of all trades at this point, and he really kind of go anywhere. And he's only 30,
Yeah.
which I guess back in the day in entertainment, 30 was just like you're done, dude. But like, I mean, now you can kind of go
Yeah, you can.
as
Man, now
long
you.
as you're being, as long as you're being creative and you're
Yeah,
actually
and someone gives you
entertaining
a
people.
shot, you can work at any age now.
Yeah.
You've been a film from for a long time, right?
Oh yeah, because whenever those other old specials you were talking
Mhm.
about, he was huge at the time. So I was
Yeah.
definitely surprised that you didn't like. He was like, you know, every white person's favorite comedian.
Yeah.
Just like Jeff Dunham was, because like, oh, he's got the puppets, and it was with him. It's like, oh, he's got funny songs.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
Yeah. Now, like I said, when you first brought him to me, I was like, I never heard him in my life, never even seen him. So I'm guessing, you know, he wasn't in my scope of comedians I listen to, or even like comedians I listen to, or even with my friends, because I never have any of my friends recommend him to me and stuff like that. So it was interesting. I was happy to get to know a new, different style of uh, comic that's out there. That's again different, but all I say was it was a interesting time watching it because I ain't gonna lie, I ain't hate it. Like I said, I was able to sit down throughout the whole time to watch it and watch half of his other special. But you know, would I watch any other specials? Probably not. You know what?
He's
Since
made for you.
no. Since I probably may check out his next one. If I'm like, okay, let me see what he does in the next one. You feel me? Because he's interesting.
Mhm.
Um, but
I feel like you would have the same with reaction with this film, Eighth Grade. Like truly, like you'd be like, I didn't hate it, but like also, no thanks.
yeah, I think so. Do you think talking about like genocide and capitalism should be a part of um, comedians toolbox of like talking about it and joking about it? Because I, right now all the comedians now are talking about you know covid covid and where's the world heading and slavery and the government and democrats and republicans. Should comedian talk about politics more?
Um, no, but it doesn't mean that they can't. Like, I don't mind when they do,
Yeah.
but the thing is like that's why there's different lanes in like, you know, like one of my favorites, Tom Segura, like he talks about it too. He's like, sometimes I talk about politics. It's because I want to talk about it. It's
Mhm.
something that in that moment it interests me, and I can talk about it if I want to. But that doesn't mean I'm a political politician, like
Yeah.
or political comedian.
Yeah.
But like the thing is like there's lanes of that. You got Trevor Noah, you got Jon Stewart, you got well, I guess not Colbert anymore, but then you got like Bill Maher. But like,
Yeah.
there's comedians that do that satirical stuff where they
Yeah.
talk about the news and they poke fun at it or make, uh funny observations about it that, are bashing the person making it or just the ideology of it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I in a way though, just no, like more comedians should, you know, maybe if it's like a unique take, like I think everybody is almost just tired or they're burnt out on hearing people's political opinions.
Or like he said about everything, like everyone have an opinion about everything, and you need to shut the f up. Was that
Yeah.
was which that was good because he was just highlighting. It's like, yo, shut up. He's like, but he's like, I know, but I know I talk about everything, but I'm and then he switched to something else. But again, he's a comedian. He's able to talk about a lot of different things because we allow him to, because again, he's a comedian and he's supposed to make fun of anything and everything. But I would you said no, but I would say yes on the fact they can talk about politics, but also
Mhm.
can agree with you. It's like they supposed to make it funny at least. You feel me? If you want to talk about
Yeah,
politics, if you want to make fun of the president, something, the the type of governments that we have, that's fine. Make it funny.
yeah,
That's
because
okay.
I've laughed at plenty of things that are like the opposite of like what I actually believe in, just
Believe,
because
yeah,
it's like, oh, that's hilarious. Like that
exactly,
doesn't matter what you believe. Like that's
exactly.
funny.
That's it. I think I was talk. I think one of the Chris Rock specials, he was talking about God and stuff like that. And I'm a believer in God. I'm a Christian, but the jokes he made was funny. I was like, yo, I was like, yo, that's hilarious. Like,
Mhm.
like we joke around all the time about different things. Like, we're supposed to make fun of these things. You're a comedian. So with Bo, I was fine for him to reach that dark space or talk about different type of stuff because, and most of the time, he's correct about it. So
Yeah, no, that's true. Like with that, like, yeah, he just throws a lot of hard pills to swallow like real
yeah,
fast, and you're just kind of like, yeah, okay.
and I don't think he's I don't know what side he's on as far as like the left or the right, what type of things he believed in. He just says it and then be like, okay, I say it, throw it out there. You guys can talk about it. Like I'm not gonna go into deeper of what I'm trying to say or back what I believe. I'm just throwing it out there. If y'all want to believe it, and y'all can just talk about it. So
Yeah, which is what we're doing now. So mission accomplished.
yeah, I think but I think the ending though, where he was like, I've been doing this for over a year and stuff like that. And he says, was he crying? Because I know, to be honest, I didn't know if he was joking or being part of the skit where he was just like, he was looking rough. And then
Mhm.
like he looked down. I think he was crying. I was just like, are you serious right now? Or are you joking? I didn't know what he was trying to.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of like I I almost like it that way when things get
Yeah.
ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yep.
what draws me in is just like, I do wonder. Like I took it as just like, oh yeah, dude's real fucked up right now. He
I,
needs help. He needs to go to
mhm.
betterhelp.com. You know, that ad you always hear and stuff. He needs to hit that up. But like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good point. Like maybe he was just like, putting on an act to kind of give it this emotional sort of ending or climb back from the bottom, I guess.
Mhm.
But and of course, if he does interviews to talk about it, I'm sure when asked like, "Oh, how should people interpret?" He's just like, "No, like just let people think
Yeah. Yeah.
what they want to."
I think I would do the same thing. I would be like, oh no, people are gonna interpret the way it is. I can't, you know, tell you what it was or not.
Yeah, it's better that way
Mhm.
because then when the artist kind of like gives what they feel is it, then everyone just goes like, "Oh, that's it," and there's no other interpretation. It's just like,
Mhm.
no, that's not how art works, and it's not even how like literature works. So you can't say that with like a film or any sort of art. But yeah, I guess it just is again that old tale of like how comedy's changing and like, is this the way that comedy's just going to go now? Is it going to be these sorts of things where people make witty comments or smart remarks within their monologue, I guess,
Yeah.
and is that supposed to be comedy now where
Yeah.
we have to have inquisitive thought throughout it? And personally, that's probably not gonna be where way it goes. With
No,
how many
no.
people I know that are just like, no, dude, I just want to watch an action movie and check out. Like, it's not gonna be happen.
Yeah.
You know, people
Uh,
want to go out, have a few drinks, and laugh.
I think they're gonna start being their own niche now. Like,
As it should.
yeah, and like I said, yeah, hmm because not a lot of people. You ain't gonna sell a lot of tickets doing that. I'm sorry to say, because people.
But they do though.
What?
It's wild. They do.
No, no. I mean, like, as a no, they do. They probably sell out, but as a massive scale, like
Oh, true.
because you can have your own niche and sell out tickets. I'm talking about like big, like Kevin, Kevin Hart Stadium.
Yeah. Yeah. You ain't. Yeah. You ain't getting to that level
Yeah, exactly.
doing that sort of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna be doing well off doing your own that niche department, but again, if it's your thing, do it. Um, like I said, people like different things, and like I said, um, comedians and art is subjective, and the stuff they talk about. So, and humor is subjective. So, yeah, man, it was really interesting, and I the best thing about it is the camera work, the little bit of the storytelling, even though some of the plays was all over the place. But what do you think the theme of the special was? Like, what was he trying to hit? Did he hit that mark?
Hmm. That's a really good question. I don't even know if I can almost pinpoint anything. But I guess if I had to like pull at a thread of what I thought the theme was, I guess probably just at least probably examine your own perspective.
Hmm.
Like, with the whole how the world works, maybe be mindful of like actually how it works, like understanding all sides of history and not just like things that are just kind of spoon fed to you, or um welcome to the internet, with how that starts off with it being very chaotic and back and forth, and then slowing down to what the internet used to be and how innocent, and then now with it being more devious. It's just like, maybe understand your own perspective and maybe be more mindful of what you do, and just I don't know if I don't if that makes any sort of
No, no,
sense.
no. I agree. I think it was hard to pinpoint the theme because again, different things talked about different skits he did talk about something different. So it's really hard to pinpoint a theme throughout. I should think that each one has its own unique theme and meaning to it. I guess he just put it in a basket or a box and be like, here you go. Um, which I think he pulled it off as far as like touching on different things. And I think one of the things if if this was the theme, it was like, you know, no one knows anything. Like if he cracks on make jokes about this, make jokes about sexting and all this. It's like at the end of the day, no one knows everything, and people think that they do, but really, no one knows. So maybe it's just maybe try to be a good person. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. And life sucks, but we just gotta keep on moving forward. I guess. I don't know.
Almost to a T, that's probably exactly what it would be. Like, it's including the I don't knows and I guesses that we both just did, because that's
Exactly.
very much how he is.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, that's probably, yeah, I like what you said a lot better. Yeah, just no one knows nothing.
That's it. And that's how comedians should be like when they make a joke, it's like, yeah, because they joke, it's like, I don't know. Like these supposed to be like the stereotypes or what or people think that um these situations or these people act like. I'm just making fun of it. I just don't know. And that's the funny thing because we laugh about things we don't know or things we do know or but we don't like to let other people know. You feel me? So I don't know. He's you think I haven't researched this, but I know he has his fan base, but what do you think his fan base um their reaction to this are if you follow like the comment sections or stuff like that? Like what do you think his fan base is saying about this special?
Honestly, most of the things I've said or I've seen is just like very much like positive.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, like one article says here that fans call Inside a deranged masterpiece. And like even like on Rotten Tomatoes, 100%.
Interesting.
And I think it was like 94% audience score.
Mm-hmm. Were they white? I'm just playing.
Definitely. We
uh,
it should be understood that all the fans are white for sure.
no, I know. I saw his audience and stuff like that. No, it's funny because that and you know, I would never introduce this to my friends because I know damn well they're not going to watch it. um, with me, like I said, I watch anything anyone recommends, and then again, I will comment on whether it's good or bad. But with my friends, they would not like if they don't know the person, um, if they never heard of it, if they seen a trailer, if they see something dumb, they'd be like, "Nah, it's a turn off to them."
Oh yeah.
But they won't push through to even watch the whole thing. I'm like, yo, just give it a try. Stop watching things that I mean, yes, you can watch things that only you like and stuff like that, but sometimes watch something like you never heard of. Watch something new. But some of my friends, they're not like that.
No. Yep, I feel you, man. Yeah, because there's only a few movies I can get my buddies to see, and then otherwise, if I try to put, they're just like, no, that looks stupid.
Yeah,
Not seeing it.
yeah,
Oh, it has that actor. Not watching it. I'm like, all
exactly.
right, whatever, guys.
Yeah. I would like I said, something like this is I would have to say though, with Bo, his the things he says and the things he does is a table conversation. So you can, get a group of friends and talk about what he's done and how you can interpret his work and stuff like that. And I would love to do that with my friends, but my friends they're not gonna invest the time to watch this special and talk about it with me.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're, into their own the popular one, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, maybe, Chris Rock, and all the other ones, but they're not going to watch him. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, that's why we have this podcast so we can talk about anything and everything we want.
Exactly.
Exactly. So just to wrap up, like, you think this was his best special? What do you think?
Um, I don't know. I'm gonna go with just yes. I'm just gonna say yeah. This is probably his best work, just because it's very complex. It's layered. I mean, just the fact alone that he did all of it by himself,
Yeah.
like that just gives you like just in my book, that's just automatically like, yeah, dude, like you did some crazy shit right here. Like you just really pulled off something that most people are like, no way I could do that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like, or that's even something someone would probably have given up on. Like any normal person would have given up on that
No,
6
I
months
agree.
in.
I agree. The mental and like I said, the determination, the commitment that you have to go through to make something like that. Like, I don't know. I just like the hard work. That was one of the best things. Like, God damn, you worked for this special for over a year by yourself. You did everything,
I know.
everything.
Dude,
I
some of
was
those
like,
light shows were intricate.
I was like, you can work behind the scenes. Like, I get what did you study how to do everything, or did you already know how to do everything? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like,
I mean, yeah, he's not even that far. I mean, he's only 3 years older than me. So, like,
yeah,
he grew up with the internet. So he probably does know how to do most of that stuff. I
yeah,
mean, I haven't edited in forever, but like I could still probably figure it out just because I
mhm,
I have some sort of knowledge that I can work with.
yeah,
But like, also he's a director
yeah.
in
So
Hollywood now. So at this point, he
yeah, so
probably is just like
if you make your own
shadowing
movie,
people
yeah,
and picking up tricks.
exactly. If you did the eighth grade, you know a couple of things, so that's good. But for me, the overall my overall opinion on it is it was just done well. That's the only thing I could say. It was done well. Um and I wasn't mad at it. Um maybe, but I'm only saying this because I have high expectation on it. Because one, I never knew him. Uh so I didn't have high expectations. So if you would have told me like, yo, you really need to watch this special. It's funny, it's amazing, it's hilarious. That will raise my expectations. And then I probably would talk about something different. I'm like, yo, this thing was trash. You feel me?
Yeah.
But the fact that you came to me like, yo, I think, you should watch this. You didn't give me anything. All you said was, um, he sings in it. I was like, oh, okay. All right. So when I watched it, I'm just like, all right, all right. So keep on doing that. Don't give me high expectations on stuff. Because
I like not letting the person in. Like if I want
yeah,
someone to watch something, I'm just like, I'm just gonna give you this and then
ex-
check it out.
exactly. Because if you're telling me all of this and that, it better be really good. So that's why I'm saying it was done well. Camera work, the writing, what he talked about was done well. Like I said, the least about the only thing that was like um low as far as like good was the humor. Um, but again, humor is subjective, and it's not my type of humor. So yeah, there you go. And one more thing to rate the the comedy from 1 to 10, where you put it.
Um, I mean, dude, for me, it's a perfect 10. Like that,
10.
like just because of the special it
Sorry.
was. Okay, but I
Go
guess
ahead.
if we're just saying the comedy, is
No,
that
no,
is
so
that
no, no,
what?
no, 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 no. Not just says the overall special.
Oh, yeah, yeah. For me, it's a 10, dude.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, controversial, but I'm gonna go 10 here.
Okay. All right. No, that's you know. I think mine is a solid 5. I'm sorry. Like, he did a lot of great things, and I'm guessing because I put the humor in a category far than anything else. It's a 5, and the reason I don't put it as a uh 8, 9, and 10 is because I think those numbers for me personally is, am I able to watch this again? Am I able to recommend this to a friend? And that's probably like the two things. Um, will I watch it again, and will I recommend to a friend? And I won't do any of those things. I won't.
Well, it's all right with my score and yours. It just averages out to like
As,
what 7.5, so it's
yeah,
all good.
exactly. So again, yeah. So anything else about the you want to leave off about the special?
Um, no, I think we pretty much went through it all.
All
We pretty
right.
much went through everything. Check it out if you want to hear catchy songs and you want to feel sad in the mix of it all. If you're kind of in your feelings, you're just like, yeah, I want to contemplate society and life and stuff. Go for it. Check it
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Yeah, check it out. I'm also a newcomer of Bo Burnham. He's a really interesting dude. you know, he's again, all I can say is interesting and unique. And I would also say unique. So check him out. If you haven't watched the special, leave a comment below on YouTube or Instagram. Tell us what you think about the special. Our opinions accurate? Is my opinion valid? His opinion valid? I don't know. Let us know. And also let us know what else we should talk about on Fate. We'll be happy to help. We're going to have more episodes soon with me and Sam. Thank you guys and have a great and wonderful evening.
Woo!